Welcome to another installment of TFA Today. Today we have with us Representative Jody Barrett, and you tell us what your district is and what committee assignments you have.
Hey, Richard, it's good to be with you. I'm with the House District 69, represent all of Lewis County, Hickman County, and about 2/3 of Dickson County. Committee assignments, I am on House Finance, Ways and Means, full committee, and I serve on the Appropriations Sub and also on the House Commerce Committee and the Banking and Finance Sub.
What are your thoughts regarding the need for the special session that Governor Lee has demanded?
Well, I've made that pretty clear in public with a letter that I sent to the governor probably just a couple of weeks ago, explaining that I did not see the need nor the really wisdom in calling a special session on this subject matter right now.
At this time, what are your thoughts regarding the red flag law or extreme risk protection order that Governor Lee is seeking, which allows the government to seize guns from individuals who presently can legally own and possess them?
Well, I'm 100% opposed to any type of red flag law, and have made that clear to the governor as well. I don't care what you call it, how you package it up, emergency risk protection, mental health order, whatever you call it. Anytime we're getting into the realm of taking away people's due process or taking away people's rights without due process, I'm just not going to be able to get on board with that. I swore an oath to uphold the Constitution, and the Constitution clearly provides for due process and law. The founding of our country is based on certain inalienable rights that we all have as individuals. And if you look up the definition of inalienable, that means they cannot be taken away, nor can they be given away by the individual. So there's no way in my mind that I see any justification for the government passing or adopting any law that gives the government or their representative the ability to take someone's rights away from them before they've ever committed any crime, been convicted of any crime, or even had any criminal citation or charges filed against them. So there's just no way to reconcile the due process provisions in our Constitution with what it is that the governor and other states have tried to do with these red flag laws.
What alternatives to a red flag or ERPO law do you think should be considered by the legislature?
Well, look, I think we can look at Oklahoma, which actually filed and passed an anti-red flag law. And I think that's something that Tennessee should look at to try to put this to bed so that we're not having to have this argument every year when something happens, some incident happens, and they try to politicize it. Outside of that, we've got big issues culturally that have been coming down. I think it's interesting that we're having conversations about mental health protective orders at the same time or following the same session where we've been dealing with all of these mental health issues relating to transgenderism and all of that. And so I think it's a slippery slope that everybody on both sides of the aisle needs to really stop and slow down and think about the ramifications of what happens if you start talking about taking people's rights away just because you determine that they have some sort of mental health issue. How we define what a mental health issue is, what constitutes mental health issue, that's a dangerous area that we don't need to get into. So you go back to the 80s when the Reagan administration and followed up by that with Bush and Clinton administrations, they all started slowly doing away with mental health hospitals and institutions. And what's happened over the years is folks that used to be able to go into an institution and get the help that they need, those opportunities are no longer there for them. I mean, we only have 4 regional mental health hospitals in Tennessee that are just that. They're hospitals. They're not detention facilities. They're not prepared, designed, or staffed in order to keep people for long periods of time. I think the average stay at any of the state mental health institutions is about 6 days. So that's not going to be a long-term solution for us. And what's happened over the years is those folks have just ended up in the criminal justice system, and they're in our jails. And now we're having to have our corrections facilities deal with people who really have mental health issues more so than they have criminal issues. And so this is a big aircraft carrier that is going to take a long time to turn around. It's not a swift boat that we can just whip around in 1 3 or 4 day special session. So that's part of what I explained to the governor. Is I feel like this is a big subject matter issue that is going to require a full legislative session for all of the processes to take place, get all of the voices in the room, voices on both sides of the issue from the citizen standpoint, all of the lobbyists and special interests that all have an interest in what happens here, including TFA and others, and let everybody have some input in what happens so that we have a full deliberative process that hopefully when we get to the end, we've got a piece of legislation or a package of legislation that everybody is either happy with or everybody's really upset about. Because in my practice as a lawyer, there's two ways that things go well whenever you reach a settlement. One is everybody walks out happy, or two, everybody walks out mad. If one side's happy and one side's upset, then it's not a good settlement.
Well, Representative, we appreciate you coming on today. I think it's a valuable exercise to let our membership across the state see the thought process from our elected legislators that are getting ready to be called in if we get the call for this. So I appreciate you taking the time, and hopefully we'll have an opportunity to speak later.
Well, look, it's always a privilege to talk to you. I've enjoyed getting to know you and working with you over the last several months, and giving me an opportunity to also to talk directly to the people. I've spent the last 2 months since session was out going to just about every bean supper and political meeting that I could get. If there's 4 or 5 people there, I wanted to be in front of them to talk to them, to get feedback, to find out exactly where the people in my district stand. And it's been overwhelmingly obvious to me that the people in the 69th district oppose what's being proposed here and do not want anything to do with this special session.
Thank you very much for your time, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
If you learned something today that was beneficial, hit the like and subscribe button. It helps get our message out and sell the brand. Check back for more content as often as you can. You can find our website at www.tennesseefirearms.com. If you are new there, click the subscribe button on that page as well to receive free email updates about issues that affect your Second Amendment rights in Tennessee.